Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yashala, Koholoyimla, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M, Aquaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. Jah Hanan Nawaf just coming at you with another quick lesson. Pray that it's edifying by the Spirit. And, just wanted to touch on this one article of the Queen. Of course, as you may have heard, she has died. And that love that she would normally get, of course, she's going to get it, from a lot of her people that, in those areas that she ruled as far as her people, like Edomites. But those colonialized people, those people that, that her queendom or kingdom or whatever you want to call it, colonized, as far as like the so-called blacks, enslavement, it's not going so well. And, just within the past couple of months, just within this year, the prince and, them and their wives have been making these tours, trying to go to these islands and places that they've colonized and trying to appeal to the people. And these people are just like, man, basically like, we don't want nothing to do with you. We want reparations. And there's a few of those countries. And the sentiment goes along. It's just coming to a point where the so-called blacks, in a sense, have somewhat of a voice, and they're voicing it. It's just like the Lord has placed that spirit on us to come out and say things. Because, see, we're in a time period now where the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, has given us a platform, so to speak, where we can talk about these things. Like, we could talk about the things that we don't like about the so-called white man. We could talk about, because what they want to do is they want to make you forget about all the shit that they've done. But when you come into this truth, what happens is you start to realize how, first off, you start to realize that you have a family, right? And that family is your brothers and sisters as a nation, because we're a body. And that's the way that the Lord always looked at us, like we're a body. We're actually his wife. We're a body. And we're all one. So when a few of us started fucking up, the whole body got in trouble, right? It wasn't like, like the apostles, like the prophets, like, say, for instance, let's talk about Daniel for a second. When Daniel and the brothers, when they was in slavery and they was before the king, they had favor, but they wasn't doing anything wrong before they went into slavery. But the people, our people, so we went into slavery as a whole. And that's the same thing that happened to us in the Americas. All of them wasn't wicked as hell. Even though, we do have sin, we do have blots, in spots that, where we're, kind of messed up at. But all of us wasn't completely just murderers and extortioners and just doing all the idol worshipers and just wickedness, man. All of us wasn't like that. But as a whole, we went into slavery, man. So, and I'm just flowing in the spirit right now, because I'm looking at this. I was kind of reading through some of this. It says, Twitter censors black professor who tweeted about Queen Elizabeth's excruciating death. So they deleted her, of course. That's why I didn't really want to touch on this really right off. But, eventually we're going to, the brothers are going to touch on it a little bit. She's not that important that we should be doing lessons on her. But, at the same time, too, it's for educational purposes and it's for our people. Because you're looking at a person that has had a luxurious life on the backs of our people. And it's been foretold. This is not like something that hasn't been known, Like she's, it's more pinpointed with her because she's like this queen, so to speak. Now, the Americas, they've had different presidents. There's been all kinds of presidents since we've been here in slavery. But this lady, she has been there for a long time, ruling, just her, over our people. Okay, so let's get some of it. Twitter took deliberate steps to delete tweet posted by a black professor that expressed sentiments about Queen Elizabeth's death that the social media company said violated its rules. Unja Anya, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Salakia. That's the name of the lady. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, Salakia. A professor in Carnegie Mellon University Colleges of Humanities and Social Sciences, reached in part to the news of Queen Elizabeth's death by taking to Twitter and joining in a chorus of tweets from the ambivalent to the gleeful and every apparent emotion in between. So you have a lot of people that's, they're not upset with her going, but going to the spirit world. And you know what? When she got to and she stood before the Father, because that's scriptural. See, there's not this thing where you go underground, you burn. There's this lake of fire. There's this guy in spandex. He's got this red spandex suit. He's got this pitchfork. He's got these horns on. And he's just like, go in the fire. No, that's not in the scriptures, man. You die, you decompose, then your body returns to the Lord. Or no, your spirit returns to the Lord. Salakia. Let me get that actually before I go off into this. Salakia. This is the scriptures, man. Your spirit returns to the one that gave it, man. Let's see if I'm... Yeah, Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. Let's get a little bit more of it. Let's see. Oh, no, we was cool right there. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. So you die, your body decompose, it turns back into dust, and the spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it. So when you listen to these Christians and they talking about how your body goes to this purgatory and hell and you're gonna be tortured, no, your body goes back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai who gave it. And actually, it talks about. Let me see real quick. Salakia. Okay, this is Job 3. I'm gonna start at verse 16. It says, or as hidden untimely birth, I had not been as infants which never saw light. If you read through this particular story, Job, he just wanted, he was kind of in anguish and he just preferred to had not been here. Now check out what he says about it. Where the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. This is what's going on in the spiritual realm. Your body decomposed. Your spirit goes back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai who gave it. And you best believe when that queen came before Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, she was more than likely like, oh shit, a Negro. So those people that I've had enslaved for all these years, damn near, her reign, damn near a century, or at least 75 years of it, damn near. And she got before the Lord, and she probably seen, and it's just me speaking as a man, she's seeing that the children, the people that she had colonized were the children of Israel, and her ass is coming back into slavery, man. When she's gonna be reborn back into slavery. So let's go back into this, because it's some scathing, it's some real scathing writings on her, man. The people didn't. It was a lot of people that didn't like her, man. They didn't like her like that. Okay, it says a prolific tweeted, Anya let her feelings about Queen Elizabeth II be known when it was reported Thursday that the matriarch of the royal family was on her deathbed. She said, may her pain be excruciating. It says, I heard the chief monarch of thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating. See? And this is a professor at a college, man. But that post was suddenly deleted and evidenced by Twitter's accompanying note. This tweet violates the Twitter rule. Anya explained in a subsequent tweet that Queen Elizabeth's death was personal for her. If anyone expects me to express, this is what she said, if anyone expects me to express anything but disdain for the monarch, who supervised the government that sponsored the genocide that massacred and displaced half my family, and the consequences of which those alive today are still trying to overcome, you can keep wishing upon a star, Anya tweeted. So that was the tweet that they got rid of. Anya's tweet about Queen Elizabeth are not too far off from the collective sentiment from Black Twitter. See? ACCJ. And we're not blacks, man. We're different shades of brown people. We're Israelites. That's our original nationality. No one's actually black, man. You can see the backdrop in this page right here is black. And the lettering is white. No one's actually white. There's different shades of red people. And those are Edomites. Esau, Edom. That's the biblical name for the so-called white man. And there's different shades of brown people. Lighter shades to darker chocolates. Those are Israelites, man. You see what I'm saying? Okay? It says, tweets with evidence of lingering residual effects of colonialism of black people. See? They're going to keep on calling you black because they just going to keep giving you that. They're never going to call you an Israelite. But that's what we're doing. We're bringing out the fact that we're Israelites. The Lord has shown us that we're the Israelites, and we're taking back our heritage, man. In particular, went viral. Theoretically, making it clear why Anya would tweet what she did. Okay, you got this Eugene Scott. He's got the original check, the original blue check. So this is official Twitter account. Real question for the now is not the appropriate time to talk about negative impact of colonialism crowd. When is the appropriate time to talk about negative impact of colonialism? So he was being a little slick. Okay, it says one of those tweets posted by a German-based DW News back in June and meant to mark the so-called Platinum Jubilee of the Queen's 70-year reign, shared video footage of a black woman identified as an independence fighter named Muthuani Mathanj, if I'm butchering her name, who was demanding reparations from Queen Elizabeth. She was tortured with axes during Kenya's struggle for independence from British colonial rule. The tweet says, Mathanj, as Britain celebrates the Platinum Jubilee of its monarch, this old fighter wants to send her a message. Let Elizabeth bring what belongs to me. Says she was tortured with axes during Kenya's struggle for independence from British colonial rule. And the Britain celebrates the Platinum Jubilee of his monarch. This old fighter, okay. So let's see. Let's play this. Block you. See that brutality? So she says she wants, reparations for being brutally terrorized and all types of things done to her basically by these British troops. And see, as you can see, she's just as old as that damn queen. Okay, so it goes on to say, to be sure, black people aren't the only ones who haven't forgotten the queen's real and involved history of colonialism. At least one, you got to realize this bitch been around for almost a century. So she came in, I think, at about 20 or so, 25. So she's had at least about 75 years of rule. She came back in the times of Jake still being ran down and hung, man. Straight up. It says to be sure, black people aren't the only ones who haven't forgotten the queen's real and involved history of colonialism. At least one white woman, which they're not white, they're pinkish to reddish in color, they're not white, in the UK, getting interviewed by CNN following news of Queen Elizabeth's dying, specifically cited British colonial history as a reason why she was neither the biggest fan of the queen nor upset or overwhelmed by her death. Okay, so let's see what's up with this.
Lives here in Windsor, and I just wonder what you thought, what your first reaction was when you heard the news that the Queen is under medical supervision.
I mean, I think it's pretty sad, like, when anyone kind of gets in that position, like, you wouldn't want that to happen to your own family member. I'm not like the biggest fan of the Queen or just like the monarchy in general, so I wasn't like that upset or overwhelmed by it. It was just something that happens, I guess.
You're not the biggest fan of the monarchy. I wonder why.
Mainly to do with like British like colonial history, things like that. A lot of things that have gone on which have been quite shady, even like recently with like Prince Andrew and everything. So yeah, I'm not really their biggest fan.
Fair enough. Well, it was nice talking to you. There's a couple of Americans over here as well who are on holiday here from Cleveland, and I just wonder, what did you guys think when you first heard the news that the Queen is under medical supervision?
Well, we were surprised. Here we are on a holiday, and then all of a sudden all this hubbub comes, which is, kind of different dynamic for your typical tourism day.
I wonder what your perception is of the Queen more generally.
I think she's an amazing woman. I mean, if you think what she has seen in her lifetime and what she's dealt with nationally, globally, family, and she's kept a level head. And she's 96 years old and has been going strong till now. That's impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Anderson, I just have to tell you before we wrap up here that I've lived here in this country for a couple of years now.
And there you have it. So, you had the younger, that younger generation is coming through, and they're starting to, they're really like hating what their ancestors done. But that's not going to matter. They're going to have to pay for it. If that first young lady stepped up, she's gonna have to pay for what her forefathers done, so to speak. So she can be against it. Now she may get a better little position among her people. Like, you know what? I remember her. She actually kind of said some things that I liked about. She said some truths. So we gonna place her above these other Edomites, but she's still going into slavery if she a damn Edomite. You see what I'm saying? So now let's get Psalm 64. Because this is what's really going on with that. Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Right? So they're telling on each other. And I'm pretty sure this guy from CNN, he wasn't expecting that. He wasn't expecting that. But there are a lot of so-called white people that believe this way. You see what I'm saying? They believe that. And a lot of them, as a matter of fact, she could actually be an Israelite. She could be an Israelite that just looked like one of them, man. Because, we don't go by colors out here. We go by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you come from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're an Israelite, man. You see? Okay, so now let's go further. Let's see what else they got. Another tweet suggested Queen Elizabeth's death was a result of karma. Well, we don't call it karma. We call it, they call it karma. What goes around comes around, so to speak. And really, they kind of get it from the scriptures, though. But we pull it from the scriptures the proper way. This is Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So whatever you plant. So if you plant cucumbers, you're going to get cucumbers. If you plant meanness, you're going to get meanness back. If you plant hatred, you're going to get hatred back. If you plant iniquity, and there's a lot of scriptures in the book of Proverbs that goes off into planting iniquity, planting fraudness. That's what you're going to get back. You're just going to get death back. If you plant death, you're going to get death back, man. You plant a death plant, you're going to get a death plant, man. It's that simple. But that's where overall they kind of get that from. Okay, so they say another tweet suggested Queen Elizabeth's death was the result of karma, specifically for her role in maintaining the colonization of Africa. She been and look, it's 2023. They still have a hold on that colonization, man. Now you got this guy coming in supposed to be the king. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we fucked up back in there. No, he's not. He's gonna continue on with their reign, man, until the Lord comes. That the tweet went viral without even mentioning Queen Elizabeth by name speaks volumes. Ooh, man. It says a closer look at the Twitter rules suggests Anya may have been in violation of the app's policy about abuse and harassment, which forbids wishing or hoping that someone's experiences physical harm, even for someone who allowed physical harm to happen for extremely racist reasons. However, there was no shortage of other tweets that echo Anya's language and remained live as the time this article was published. One tweet in particular was absent of any lies about the Queen's legacy of colonialism. It says, reminder that Queen Elizabeth is not a remnant of colonial times. She was an active participant in colonialism. She actively tried to stop independence movements, and she tried to keep newly independent colonies from leaving the Commonwealth. The evil she did was enough. See? In the same article, with the old lady, same age as her almost still. She's like, shit, her British soldiers came in and just done her all kinds of dirty. Okay, it says Ebony Elizabeth Thomas, an assistant professor at the University of Michigan, found irony in the Queen's supporters telling people how they should react to the death, telling the colonized how they should feel about the colonizers' health and wellness. It's like telling my people that we ought to worship the Confederacy. Thomas tweeted Thursday. But this is how they get down, though. Like, for real. This is how they get down. Meanwhile, and they're going to spin it. They're going to spin it like she was the best person on the planet. You're not going to get it. You'll get little stories like this, but overall in the rotating news, what you're going to get is she was the greatest person on the planet. She lived this. She was the greatest monarchy. She done this. She done that. She done this. She had these parties in her garden, and she done this. That's all you're going to get, man. You're not going to get any of that negative stuff. But I'm surprised this story is actually still up here. In reality, shit. It says a statement regarding the recent social media post by Yuja Anya. We do not condone the offensive. Now they're saying what she said is offensive and objectionable message posted by Unja Anya today on our personal social media account. Free expression is a core to the mission of higher education. However, the views she shared absolutely do not represent the values of the institution nor the standards of discourse we seek to foster. The hell out of here, man. And that's Carnegie Mellon University. So if you want to go and tweak them a few things, you can go and tweak them a few things. But as you can see, everybody is not with the bullshit. Everybody already know what's up. Hey, look. And they're still in control of the colonization of our people, man. It's just passed on to the next person. Which is, ain't no telling what this motherfucker about to do neither. Ain't no telling what he about to do. Ain't no telling, man. So, it's actually high time to awake out of sleep and repent. To all you so-called blacks, or you so-called, they call you black, but you're actually Israelites in those countries. Repent to the Father Yahweh in the name of his son Yahushai. That's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in, because we was worshiping false gods and idols, man. When we came out of Egypt with Moses, we made a contract with the Most High God to do what he said to do, his statutes and commandments, man, his laws, and we went off, man. But we're in the last days where he's awakening those Israelites. He's awakening the children of Israel. And these types of things right here that are happening, and this is, this ain't even a week after the Day of Atonement. We've been praying for the downfall of Esau Edom's kingdom, man. I'm gonna keep it classy, so we pray that more stuff happens. I'll put it that way, right? Pray that more stuff happens, right? She been living, and this is a base people. These people have these people came straight out of caves. But that lets you know the Lord set up the basis of men, man. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Okay, let's get all the way down into it. Now, this is the book of Job. Let me just start up here, man. We got to get all this. And I'll end out. But now, Job 30:1. But now, they that are younger than me, younger than I, have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. So Job, like, man, I wouldn't even set these people with my dogs. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in the former times, desolate and waste. who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots but for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. These are your original Flintstones, your original cavemen. These people actually lived in caves, but they'll tell you that you, Jake, was swinging from trees and you jungle men and you're monkeys. In the meanwhile, you're the one that actually civilized them. It says, amongst the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And these are the people that are in rulership right now. And that's why the scriptures, the Lord talks about, hey, he can set up he'll set up the basis of men over this earth, man. Because he has the power to do so. He's the one that's in control of kings and queens and dignitaries and prime ministers and mayors and governors and whatever you want to name them. The Lord is the one that set all these people up, from a McDonald's manager to a goddamn person that's standing on the street directing traffic for the children in the morning for school. What do they call them? Whatever, school monitors or whatever. The Lord is in control of that, man. So he set these people up over the earth, but they're foolish people. These are base people. That lets you know how powerful the Lord is, where he can set the most stupidest people up and set them up as kings and queens over his actual royal people. But this is what he done to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because your hard-head asses wouldn't listen, man. But we're going back into our kingdom. And what's happening before your very eyes is that base nation of people that he set up for these past 500 to 1,000 years or so, there's now he's bringing them down back to their original place, and he's bringing the Israelites up to their original place. And it just is what it is, man. And we're happy about it. And we can't wait, man, to get into the kingdom, to really, here you go, man. I ain't gonna even, let me just keep it classy. I ain't gonna even talk about the lady, man. Anyway, she's going into slavery along with all those apprentices, the little kids, her great-great-grandkid, all of them going into slavery, man, in the kingdom of Yahweh H.I.M, man. They're going into slavery. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I'll end out with that. Let's get this Revelation 13. They're going into slavery, man. Let me start at verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. In the NLT over here, it says, anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand, right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Then this lady, she grew up in that. She grew up in rounding up niggas, man. She grew up in the rulership of rounding niggas up and working them to sun up to sundown. She was around when there was no color film, man. Her rule started when there was only black and white film, man. She was around then, ruling. So she's going into captivity, man, in the kingdom. She's going to be born back in the kingdom and going into captivity along with her damn husband that passed away last year, I think it was. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Do you see that old so-called black woman? She was like, hey, pay up. Give me what? Here you go. You got this so-called white woman, the queen, celebrating her jubilee. And you got a woman that's like, hey, but what about what you came through and what you sent your soldiers through and what they done to me? Why don't you pay up? Nothing, man. And I bet you, hey, she went before the Lord. That spirit went back to the Lord. And she was like, oh, shit. Kind of like the situation with Lazarus and the poor man in the New Testament, where the Lazarus, he was like, Lord, please send somebody back to tell my family members about this. He was like, hey, look, they got Moses and the prophets. They don't believe them. He was like, but send, maybe they'll believe coming from a dead. No. You've had your time. You were on this side of the earth and you was getting it. And on our side, we were poor. So it's going to be a role reversal, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. That's the way that the Lord set it up, and it is what it is. And you so-called white people that are, hey, it's going to be terrible for you in the kingdom. It's not going to be beautiful. Hey, it's going to be terrible. That's the best way I can put it. We'll see how Yahweh Bashim Yahushua set it up, because we're going to have those new bodies and new mindsets, and we're going to be righteously thinking of ways to just make you remember what you've done to us. I'll put it that way. To just keep it classy, right? Okay, so but with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala.